Hello and how you doing, traders? I hope you're doing well by God's grace. Today is Thursday. Yesterday, that is Wednesday, I shared a trade with my team. It was really well. We executed it very well, So I just want to, just break it down so that you can also get to see how we took it, because I feel like that is the best way I can help people that are watching me or people that are following me. Because at the end of the day, if I'm just showing you how much I'm making and all these profits, how do that benefit you? It's only benefiting me. But the only reason or the only way I can help, or I can also contribute to your forex trading journey, is basically to show you how I did it. That is the thought process and the process behind the result, right? So without wasting much time, let's just jump right into it. Let me just break it down. You get to also take something home. So let's get it. So if you look right here, this is our chat room, and right here, this was the setup on EURJPY. Let me just open it right here. So this is how it was looking like right before it played out, and it was around 11:40 a.m. So let's just take a look at how everything played out. So this is the trade I shared with my team, but before I even break it down, let's just start from here, right? So first thing that you need to do whenever you want to trade or you want to analyze the chart is to identify the overall direction of the market, right? So you want to identify whether we are on an uptrend or we are on a downtrend by using the higher time frame, right? So you want to do something called top-down analysis so that we can see what the market is doing or how the market is looking like from the higher time frame down to the lower time frame. So here we're going to use the daily time frame as our higher time frame. So if you look right here, what can you see? We can see price is just creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? Which is telling us that the trend is up, right? That is the first thing that we need to identify. The second thing that we also need to identify is, are we in a run phase or we are in a pullback phase? What do I mean by that? You can see whenever we are going up, we have price pushing to the upside. This is the direction of the market. Price will just pull back and continue with the direction again, right? So this is the run phase. This is where price will just pull back and then continue to run, right? So this is the pullback and then there's the run phase. So before anything, you want to identify, are we in this pullback phase or price is in the run phase? If we are in the pullback phase and you are selling, then you should understand that you are probably selling a pullback, right? So this is it. If you are selling right here whilst the trend is up, then you are selling a pullback, which means at any moment from now, price could just bounce on any significant level and then just continue to the upside. So you need to be mindful. That is why we need to understand where we are in the market. If the trend is also like that, or if you are in the run phase, then you know that you are trading with the overall direction of the market, which means you can just be targeting the next highs until price breaks this high, and then we eventually break and continue the overall direction, right? So that is it. That is the second thing that you need to understand. Now, whenever we have a trend, let's start with an uptrend. These are the highs. You can see this is the high, there's a high, there's a high as well. This is the low, there's a low, there's a low as well, right? When price creates a higher high, higher low, a new high, right, the purpose of the new high is to pull back and break the previous low like that. This is what I'm talking about. So this is the low because price took out this high, we've created a new high, so this is our new higher low, right? If this is pulling back, we want price to come and break this low. The very moment price breaks this low, the purpose of this high has been fulfilled, because the purpose of the high is to break the previous low. If it fails to break the previous low and it pull back somewhere here and then starts to create higher high and higher low, that is if the pullback finishes and price starts to reverse and we start initiating the run phase, this becomes a weak high because this high failed to break the previous low. It failed to take out the previous low, so it becomes a weak high. So once we get an entry for buys right here, our target could be the weak high, right? And if price eventually breaks that high, then we can expect price to create a new high, right? So right here we can see price took out this high, we've created a new high. This now becomes our low, right? So the purpose of this pullback is to pull back and break this low. If price fails to break this low and eventually shift from downtrend to an uptrend and we start creating high highs and high lows, this becomes a weak high, which means once we get an entry here, we could then target price to potentially reach this level or even eventually break that level. So this is what I'm talking about on the chart. We have this high, we have a low, we have price breaking this high to create a new high, right? So the purpose of the high is to pull back and break these lows. You can see price never pulled back to break any low. So when you get on lower time frame and you enter right here, you can just target this high as the weak high, right? So you can see we took out this high as well. We created a new high. This was our low, right? And price pulled back all the way to this low. For me, a break of structure or a break of these lows is where we have a candlestick just breaking through, right? This is not a break for me. This is just rejection. This is just telling me the sellers are failing to break that low, right? So you can see right here, price pulled all the way to this level. We never broke this low, which means this was a weak high. So once we get any entry at these levels, we can then target the weak high that failed to break the previous low, right? So now we have this as our new high and this is our low, right? And we are expecting price to pull back. That is, if price pulls back to break this low, then we could then expect price to just continue trading to the downside. But if it fails to break this low and eventually shift from bearish to bullish, then we can target this weak high. So as you can see, price never broke this low. It shifted from bearish to bullish, started creating higher highs and higher lows. So this was the target, right? So same thing, we broke this high, created a new high. This then becomes our low, right? So with this pullback, if this pulls back to this level, that is a sign that this uptrend is over, right? But as you can see, price never came to this level. It just pulled back and then it shifted from bearish to bullish, which means this is now our weak high. So we can expect price to even get to this level or eventually just break, just to continue the overall direction of the market. This is something that you need to understand as well. It's the same on a downtrend. If we are on a downtrend and price is creating lower lows and lower highs, the purpose of the low is just to break the previous high. So this right here, if price goes up to break this previous high, then this is a strong low, which means we can expect price to just continue trading to the upside. But if it fails to break this high, it gets to this level and eventually shifts to the downside, then this becomes a weak low, which means we can expect price to break these highs or even continue lower. That is it, right? So right here with this trade that I took with my team, just looking at this, understanding the run and the pullback phase. Right here we were just in this pullback phase. This is the daily time frame, and I'll show you in a split second. We started taking sales at these levels on the lower time frame because we knew that this was just a pullback on the daily time frame. So just taking sales here as intraday setups or intraday trades, it was just short-term setups that we were taking, right? So right here on the 1H, I'm just starting from here when we started taking these sales. So right here, this is the daily time frame. Oh, sorry, this is the 1H time frame. This is where the trend shifted from bullish to bearish on the 1H, right? So right here we created a double top at this level. We broke the neckline and then price eventually dropped. It pulled back to the previous neckline like that, right? This was the neckline. Price pulled back, gave us another double top or our head and shoulder pattern. It's not even important. The names are not really important. The main thing is the structure, right? So right here you can see structure shifted from bullish as well to bearish. This was a nice trade as well. We started creating impulse correction. This is just break and retest, break and retest like that, right? And even right here you can see we had a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Price took out this neckline as well. So this was all the pullback phase. You need to understand that we were on the daily time frame. We spotted that we were in the pullback phase, not the run phase. So selling here, we are just selling the pullback, but in our head we know that the overall direction is to the upside. So at any level we could just see price just shifting from bearish to bullish, and then we can start looking for buying opportunities. So right here on the 1H time frame, you can see we had the first bottom, second bottom. This was a double bottom pattern. Price took out this high and then we started creating higher highs and higher lows. So on the 4H, I wanted to see the shift as well. So let's take a look at the structure. Price was just creating lower lows and lower highs as well, and understanding that we were in the pullback phase, not the run phase, I just had to wait for the shift. And right here, it's a lower low, lower high, just waiting for this high to be broken on the 4H to confirm that, okay, we are now on an uptrend. And if I should just add a trend line or a channel, you can see that this was also a nice, setup, right? So waiting for this high to be broken, that's exactly what I did. And I did that on the 1H time frame right here, just waiting for this high to be broken. So break of this stop loss right here and targeting the the week high, right? So this could be the overall target, but this was just an intraday setup, so just capitalizing from here as a day trade. This was cool, so looking at this, you can even see price took out this high. We broke this structure right here, it retested, and it looks like price is pushing to the upside. So this could be the overall TP, which means any pullback in this zone, right, on the lower time frames, we can go on the 15 minutes for that. Any pullback in this zone could just be another entry to reach its target. So this was just the overall, or the thought process behind this simple trade that I took with my team.